Hey all, good morning. Okay, so it's okay. See, starting 1, 2, 3 classes, what happens is we coordinate and get everyone and start the class. It might take 10 to 15 minutes time. Okay, and the starting few classes, it happens once all registrations are fine. Once all you know a batch is formed and we start. Okay, everything happens on dot like. If it is 12 o'clock batch, it exactly starts max to max by 12:05, and then if 5 minutes got extended here, then we'll close the class at 12:05. So we'll make sure we have 1 hour of class. But starting few classes, okay, to coordinate and get everybody on page, okay, it takes some time. Okay, so just do bear with this because once we get everything, once we know that batches are formed and we are good to go, we don't have to coordinate much. Everybody knows when to join, when to come and all. Okay, don't worry. So, guys, today we are actually going to start with a first service called IAM, Identity and Access Management, which is the main and basic service to get started with AWS. Okay, so let me open my AWS account. So this is how as I told you, this is how AWS console looks like. Okay, so this is how console looks like. Whenever you create AWS account, people who haven't created your AWS accounts yet, okay, don't worry. You know, Kavya will help you out how to create AWS accounts. Okay, so in that AWS accounts, what you will do is you'll give a Gmail, your Gmail ID or Outlook ID, whatever is your main ID, you'll give and you'll create your passwords. Okay, so when you log in to your AWS account, it will ask you for your root account, you know, account ID and root account password. And once you give that, this is how it opens. So this is a brand new AWS account. Whenever you also create your AWS account, this is how it opens. So whatever name you want to give, you can give. Okay, I gave it as AWS Learning. You can give whatever your account needs. Okay. So this is the console, and from this is where we access all our services. Okay, so we are going to start with the first service, which is called IAM. We are going to start with IAM. So let's start. So if you see, okay, normally if you are in the IAM management console, main AWS management console, you can see multiple regions, and this is where all AWS data centers are. Okay, for example, start with Mumbai. This means you are in the region particular to Mumbai data center. Okay, there is even a data center in Hyderabad. This is still not operational. Okay, this is still in progress. If you see Asia Pacific Hyderabad ante ఏంటంటే AWS data center Hyderabad lo kuda undi. Within few days, this will be activated and this comes up here. That means, see, ఇక్కడ ఉన్న North Virginia, Ohio, Mumbai, Singapore, Sydney, Tokyo, what are all this? This is where AWS data centers are. Okay, ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒకవేళ ముంబై సెలెక్ట్ చేసి, if we select Mumbai and then we create a resource, whatever it is, for example, EC2 instance, we create a virtual machine. Okay. What does it mean? That means we have created a virtual machine in Mumbai data center. Okay, as simple as that. But when you go to IAM, okay, just a minute. IAM. When you open IAM management console, okay, just observe the difference. Can you see regions? All are disabled. Okay, it says global. Why? Because identity and access management is a global service. It doesn't depend on any regions. Whatever. So, what exactly is identity and access management is whatever permissions you want to give, whatever restrictions you want to do on your AWS account comes from IAM. మనము మన అకౌంట్ మేనేజ్మెంట్ మొత్తం ఎక్కడి నుంచి చేసుకుంటాం ఐఏఎంఎస్ సో దట్ irrespective of whatever region it is. Okay, when it comes to IAM, it's a global service. Nothing is whatever, irrespective of any region, if you want to give any user any permission or whatever you want to do is done from IAM. So that is why IAM is a global service. Okay. And then the root account which got created. First, manam while creating our AWS account, we gave an email ID, we gave our password, and we have logged in. That is called root account. Okay, that is called root account. So, in general, okay, I'll give you a real-time scenario. In your companies, how does AWS work? Okay, so for example, imagine we have a project. Okay, for that project, we'll procure an AWS account. Who procures it? Project owner,
Recording in
senior developer, or whoever is the in charge of the project. Okay, whoever is the main in charge, technical in charge of the project, what they'll do is they'll procure an AWS account. Okay. And whenever they procure it, they'll have a root account. So right now you are creating your personal accounts, you have access to your root accounts. But generally, in production accounts, you won't have access to their root account. Why? Because root account has all accesses. It can even delete that account. Okay, for example, see right now, I am in my root account, right? If I want, I can even deactivate this account. So that is why, okay, see what they'll create is they'll create one account for the whole project, or one or two accounts or three accounts based on their usage. They'll create AWS accounts, but they will not give you root account. They will create users. They'll create AWS users, IAM users. For example, you are working on a project. You need AWS access. They'll create a user on your name and they'll give you user access. Okay. ఆ యూజర్ కి ఏవైతే పర్మిషన్స్ ఐఏఎం నుంచి ఇచ్చారో అవి మాత్రమే మీరు యాక్సెస్ చేయగలరు. ఓకే, సో సో the first principle, the basic principle is the root account that got created while creating AWS account should not be shared or used by anyone, because it has all the accesses, complete access. You can delete anything, you can create anything, you can even delete the root account also. What if? Just a simple example. I am the project owner. Okay, and I have you all as my developers, DevOps engineers, and all. Okay, we started working on the project. So I trusted you all, and I gave you root account access. So one of the guy didn't like it. What he did, he went and deactivated the one. All our everything that is there in the project is gone. So that is why first rule number one. See, malla mana personal accounts lo, even if you use root account, nothing happens. But we all, what we'll do is root account create cheskuntam kada, dan tarvata let's not use it, because our personal accounts will know the root account and root account password. Kani to have a real time experience, let's not use it. First, you have to use it for only one purpose. What you have to do is, let's go to this account. Okay, open IAM. First thing you have to do in the root account is somebody can. So you'll come to the root account and you'll say create user. Okay, so how is it? Let's see. So before creating anything, let's have an organizational structure. Okay, నేనేంటంటే I have an organizational structure form. You can take your own examples. So to practice it, what we are doing is I am the admin. Okay, whatever it is, project owner, senior developer, or whatever it is, I am the in charge. Okay, I am the admin, and I have 5 people or 6 people working on the account on one process or one project. What is it? I have 3 developers. Okay, Arvind, Vishwa, and Kavya are 3 developers working under me for this project, and Prasad and Vishal are from operations team. There is someone called Sai, only one HR. Okay, and then what I did is one from developers team, one from operations team. Kavya and Prasad I picked as part of my training. Okay, this is how I found my organizational criteria. నాదొక చిన్న ఆర్గనైజేషన్ ఐఎమ్ వర్కింగ్ ఆన్ ఎ ప్రాజెక్ట్ ఫర్ దాట్ ఐ హావ్ ప్రొక్యూర్డ్ అన్ అకౌంట్ ఓకే విచ్ ఇస్ దిస్ AWS learning I have procured. Okay, and then this is my root account. తర్వాత ఏంటి నాకు ఇంతమంది యూజర్స్ ఉన్నారు. సో ఫస్ట్ వాట్ ఐ హావ్ టు డూ ఇస్ go click on users, create a user. I have to create a user. So first account I have, even I know the root account, even I have to create my own account. Okay, so what I'll do is I'll create first session. Who is the admin? So come, let's just observe what am I doing. I want to provide user access to AWS management console. So whatever is the console that is there, I want to provide that console. So I'll click on this. Okay. Specify user in an identity center recommended. Okay. This is a new option that they have set up. Even if you have 10-15 accounts, how to give access to just, specify user in one identity center and give it access to everything. Okay. That is somewhat very highly advanced one. Let's not do it now. Okay, let's not do it now. What we'll do is I want to create an IAM user specific to this particular account. Okay, so I'll just click on I want to create IAM user. This specify user in an identity center will do it later on when we have advanced knowledge, when we can use multiple accounts and all. Okay, we'll do it then. But right now I'll do I want to create an IAM user. Okay, then it will ask you for password. Okay, so there are 2 options. One, auto-generated password by AWS or custom password that you want to give. Okay, let's try out first with auto-generated password. Okay, and we'll say user must create a new password at next time. So AWS will create an auto-generated password, but for the next time, whenever this particular user session is logging in, he has to change his password. Okay, so I'll click on it. Okay, and just say next. Okay, as of now, let's not do anything. Okay, let's ignore. Okay, we'll first try out a hands-on on how to create a user. Okay, so I'll not do anything here. I'll just, so there is one permission added. What is that permission? IAM user change password. Why is it added? Because I have checked on it, right? What did I say? Whenever next time he signs in, he has to change his password, right? That is why a permission got added called IAM user change password. That's it. I didn't give any permission. Okay, and I'll say create user. It is creating user. Just wait. So these are the sign-in details for that user. What is it saying? See, this is the URL you have to come up with. What is this URL? See, every account, every root account that got created has an account ID. A unique ID created for particularly your account. So this is my, so for that particular ID, sign in AWS console. So this is the sign in URL that got generated. What is the username? This is the username. Okay, for example, AWS has created a custom generated password, something like this. So what you have to do is you have to either download the CSV. You have to download this file. Okay, once you have downloaded, it gets downloaded. Or if you have your email setup, normal ga mana, you know, if you click on email sign in instructions, it will open the mail that is there, default mail. Okay, default mail open up. ఇది మీది సెటప్ అయి ఉంటే డైరెక్ట్ గా you can send a mail. Okay, right now it is not set up in mine. Okay, generally nobody does. So what you do is you download the CSV. Who are you? You are a root user. You are the admin of the account. Okay, who is the owner of the account? So you can know username and password for the first time. You have downloaded it. So what you will do is whatever CSV you have downloaded, you'll send a mail to that particular person. Right now I am the same admin and account user is the same. So that is why I know it. If CTO of my company is creating this account, for example, what he does is he has created a username called session and he will send me the CSV file, whatever are the instructions he'll send. So now what I'll do is let me copy this, or I can copy it from Excel file also. Even in Excel file, if I open the Excel file which got downloaded, there also you'll have the same thing, username, password, and the console sign in URL. Okay, so I'll copy this. Let me open another browser, some other browser. Okay, let me sign out. So whatever is the console sign in URL, I'm just pasting it. So what is the username? Session is the username I created, right? So session. Okay. And the password, first time the password would be whatever is the AWS generated passwords. Let me copy this and say. So immediately what it does is I checked on it, right? From the next sign in, user has to change his password. So old password is again the custom generated, and now I'll generate my own password. I have changed my password. Right now I have logged in as Session. Okay. Then how do you identify the difference between root account and the, even Session can see the same console. Okay. Then how do you identify? Yes, see this. Session at the rate account ID. If you see, if you press on this account ID and the IAM user Session. But if you are in root account, you will just have your account name and the account ID. So this is the difference between root account and a user account. Okay, so clearly if you come here, if you see session at the rate of account ID, that means you have logged in a session in this particular account. Okay, now fine. What if, see, the only permission I gave to session is to change password. That's it, right? What if session tries to open IAM? So I am trying to open IAM as session. I didn't give any permissions. I only gave user change password. That is why I was able to change the password. But if I open IAM, access denied. Okay. So in my, so let me go back to my root account. Within our root account. For example, I'll open S3. Okay. As I told you, what is S3? S3 is a storage service. It's a storage. Don't worry about what S3 is. We'll learn in detail what S3 is. For example, S3 is a service. Okay. A service key, I am going here. I'll go to the buckets as it is a brand new, it's a new account. There won't be any buckets as of now. So don't worry. I'll just create a bucket, just an example bucket. Okay. I'll show you how to create account, what is S3 bucket and all I'll explain. But just to show you the permissions, I'm just creating a bucket. Okay. Batch 6 AWS S3 something like this. Okay, just ignore what am I doing. Okay, I just wanted to have a bucket. So right now there is a bucket. Okay, what if Session, okay, wants to open S3? What if he opens buckets? You don't have permission. Why? No permissions are given. This is what IAM is all about. IAM will create users, but only whatever permissions we give will be handled by the user. Whatever is permissions given. As of now, there is no permission. So what is Session here? Session is admin, right? Okay. I told you that whatever root account is created should not be shared or used by anyone. Then how to run the show? Okay. So what you will do is you will go to the root account. The first thing that you will do is we have created a user called Session, right? Go to Session. If you right now, if you press users, you will be directed to one user, which is Session. So first thing what you will do is if you see in the permission policies, there is only IAM user change password, nothing else in that. So click on add permissions, go to add permissions, okay, and as of now, add user to the group, copy permissions, ignore all. I want to attach policies directly. And can you see administrator access? Okay, just select that administrator access and then click on next, add permissions. Right now, if you see, Session has two permission policies, which is administrator access and IAM user change password. So, right, who is the admin? Session is the admin, right? From the root account, what I did is I created one user and I gave him administrator access. So, if I go back to Session now, and if I just refresh S3 and refresh IAM, just observe. First step is to, from the root account, to create an admin user. So we have created a user and gave him administrator access. Right now, if you see, Session can access all IAM. Session can access complete S3. Why? Because what administrator access is, you are giving complete access to AWS account, except for few destructive things like admin can't deactivate the account and admin cannot see the billing. As of, if you want your admin to see the billing, that is again another process you have to give. So whenever I discuss about billing, I'll show you how to give billing access to admin also. Right now, see, admin can add users, admin can create any service he wants, any resource he wants. Okay. But except for some destructive operations like accessing billing information and deactivating the account. Adi tappa anni cheyagam. So we have created an admin account. So our first duty is we have created an admin account. Right now, I am going to my root account and sign in. Done. This is the only time I will use my root account. From now onwards, who will run the show then? You have to create users, you have to give permissions, right? Who will do it? Admin will do it. Admin ki already full permissions ichchesam. Okay, so now let's go back to our organizational criteria. So admin is created, admin has all the access. Done. Now what admin will do is he'll create a user. For example, I am going to create a user called Kavya. So Kavya entered into my organization. I did her as developer. So whenever Kavya enters, what I have to do is I have to go to users. I have to create a user. Again, same process. Okay. I am creating Kavya. Okay. So you might get this doubt. What if I have two Kavyas? So in an organizational level, what happens is multiple Kavyas might be there in an organization. Okay, in the same team, multiple Kavyas might be there. Then how to create a username? అక్కడ ఏం చేస్తారంటే ఆర్గనైజేషనల్ లెవెల్లో ఈవెన్ ఇఫ్ యూ హ్యావ్ 10 కావ్యాస్ ఇన్ అకౌంట్ బట్ ఇన్ అన్ ఆర్గనైజేషన్ బట్ దేర్ ఎంప్లాయీ ఐడి విల్ బి డిఫరెంట్. ఆర్గనైజేషన్ లో ప్రతి ఒక్కరికి ఒక ఎంప్లాయీ ఐడి ఉంటుంది విచ్ ఇస్ వెరీ యూనిక్. Okay, nobody in that organization will have that employer. So username will be created on employer. Username will be created on employer. Okay, multiple kavyas unna kuda the user is employer. Okay, so right now I have a small organization, I can go on names. Okay, but maybe in the real time when you go to your particular organization, your username will be created on employer, because that is completely unique, right? Okay, that particular employee ID or the email ID will be your user. Okay, so again I'll say provide user access to AWS management console. I want to create an IAM user. Okay, and this time let's go with custom password. Okay, and say, see, I am creating a password. Let me check the password itself. For example, I created a password something like this, and this time I don't want user to change the password. Okay, while as an admin I created a password and that should stay. Okay, so I'll not check on user, you must create a new password at the next time. I'll click on next. As of now I'll not add any permissions, I'll just create a user. I am creating a user. So again, Kavya also has this. Okay, so even AWS, please read this very properly. Okay, AWS gives complete instructions. What is it saying is you can view and download the user password or email user instruction for signing in into AWS management console. But it is also saying, see, this is the only time you can view and download the password. ఒక్కసారి ఇది డౌన్లోడ్ చేసి ఈ పేజ్ నుంచి వెళ్ళిపోయిన తర్వాత మీకు ఆ పాస్వర్డ్ కనిపించదు. So that is why you have to make sure you have to download the CSV. Even if you are trying to go to users, it directly says, see, you haven't viewed or downloaded the user's password. If you continue, you cannot retrieve this password in future. So instead, you must create a new password for the user. So what you will do, you will not continue. First, you will download the CSV. Kavya the download చేసుకున్నది. See Kavya's credentials and పడిపోయింది. Then you can go back. Okay, so right now what Kavya does, again Kavya will open, we have emailed her the instructions. So again in another browser. Okay, just to test I'm doing it in another browser. I'll here. I am user Kavya. Okay, I know the password. Okay, otherwise I'll see it from the CSV file. Okay, and then I'll click on sign. Oh sorry, I gave a wrong one. This time it is not asking me to change the password. Why? I didn't check on it. I whatever custom password I gave ade undali ante that is what is staying. Okay, right now if I don't give Kavya ki nenu emi permissions ivvadu, nothing, zero permissions I give. Okay, right now also if Kavya is trying to open IAM, if Kavya is trying to open multiple other things, she'll not be able to. Okay, so right now admin has all the access. From now onwards admin will run the show. Okay, so what he is doing is, first he has got first employee as a developer, so she is Kavya. Okay, fine.
అది యూసర్ లోనే కదా క్రియేట్ చేసింది కూడా. సో ఇప్పుడు మనం ఈ డాక్యుమెంట్ కూడా అడ్మినిస్ట్రేటివ్ యాక్సెస్ లోనే రావచ్చు కదా.
ఇవ్వద్దు. See, I am admin, I can do anything, but Kavya is a developer, she is just a developer.
కాకపోతే యూసర్ లోనే కదా
యూజర్ లోనే క్రియేట్ చేసింది, కానీ కావ్య కాన్ క్రియేట్ యూజర్స్ నో. ఇప్పుడు కావ్య ఒకవేళ ఐఏఎం యూజర్స్ ఓపెన్ చేస్తే ఏమవుతుంది, యాక్సెస్ డినైడ్ అని వస్తుంది. Admin is the only one who can create user, or user who has IAM full permissions, is the only person who can create users and give permissions.
కావ్య లోపలికి వెళ్ళినాక మళ్ళీ అక్కడే పర్మిషన్
అక్కడైనా permission I'll show you. I'll show you. So as of now, Kavya doesn't have any permissions. Even if she tries to open any service, she can't. So right now I am the admin. So I gave a task to Kavya. Kavya came task kitchen. There is an S3 bucket. You have to create files and upload it to the S3 bucket. This is the first task I gave. But Kavya can't open. So I go as an admin. See, this is the admin account, right? Oh, sorry, this is the admin account, right? See, I am a session, right? So what I'll do is, Kavya, I want you to open S3 and upload some files. Okay, so what I'll do is, now as an admin, now I'm giving her the task, right? So always remember, guys, the duty of an admin, the responsibility or the principle that admin has to always remember is, okay, tomorrow you might be the admins. Okay, you might be the AWS admins. You have to always remember one principle. I am going to again explain you, but least privilege principle. అంటే ఏదైనా యూజర్ కి ఏదైతే అవసరమో అది మాత్రమే ఇవ్వాలి. మోర్ దాన్ దట్ యూ షుడెంట్ బి గివింగ్. సో నౌ దర్ ఇస్ అ యూస్ కేస్, రైట్? ఇప్పుడు ఒక నీడ్ వచ్చింది ఏంటి? Kavya should be able to create an S3 bucket and upload some files to the S3 bucket, right? Right now, I know that she needs the permission, so I'll go there. I'll say attach policies directly. And what is the permission I am looking for? What is the service? S3, right? So I'll type for S3. So all the permissions, see, these are all already created permissions in AWS. Okay, so can you see S3 read only access, S3 full access, already some accesses are there. Right now, I want to give Kavya S3 full permissions. She can create S3 buckets, she can upload buckets, she can delete buckets. Ilanti permission and ivaladu. So what I'll do is, I'll say S3 full access. Okay, I am adding a permission to Kavya as an admin that one policy is added, S3 full access. Now Kavya can open S3. Kavya can open S3. She'll be able to see everything. She'll be able to create everything. Okay, for example, let me show you. So the bucket is added. Okay, she can add a bucket or she can go and, so there is a bucket. Okay, don't worry. See, S3 ఏంటి ఇలా ఉంది, ఏదో అప్లోడ్ చేస్తున్నాడు, ఇవన్నీ మీరు don't think about this. Okay, when we go to S3, proper గా అసలు S3 bucket ఏంటి, దాంట్లో how do we upload files and all we'll see. Right now you just have to observe permissions on. What permission did I give? S3 full access I give. S3 full access. So right now she goes. For example, there are 3 files here, index, Ansible and template. 3 files ఉన్నాయి. అవి she created in her local and she uploaded it. She has uploaded it. Now she will be able to upload. Okay, she has uploaded it. Fine. If I come back to the bucket, done. Any 3 files అడగండి. She uploaded it. Right now things change. ఇంతకంటే ఎక్కువ ఫైల్స్ Kavya అప్లోడ్ చేయదు. All she wants to do is she has to read this file and do something, some task. So immediately what I'll do, I'll go to admin. Okay, I'll remove this policy. ఎంతసేపు అయింది? 1 second అయింది కదా, 1 2 3 seconds అయింది అంతే కదా. Okay, if I go and refresh, now I don't want her to give any S3 permissions. So just a minute. Let me just refresh it. As an admin, I have removed. Okay, did I remove? Yeah, I have removed, right? I came back to Kavya's account. See, insufficient permissions to list the options. Why? I have removed the permission. So now admin will run the show. Okay, ఎవరికి ఏం పర్మిషన్స్ ఇవ్వాలి, ఎంతమంది యూజర్స్ ని క్రియేట్ చేయాలి, what all permissions to give, what not to give, all will be done by admins. Okay, so fine, we know how to add permissions. So let's create one more user. Okay, inkoka kotta user create aya. Okay, what is he? Let me go back to my course. Okay, so I want to add one more user. I have got Prasad for operations. So what I'll do as an admin, I'll go to users and create a user again. So Prasad, provide user access to AWS management console. I want to create an IAM user. Okay, this time also let me do. Okay, and maybe I don't want him to change the password. It depends. Okay, whatever admin wants to do, he can do. Okay, so this time you can, while creating user also, you can give permissions. Okay, so it's the same page, right? అక్కడికి వెళ్ళి యాడ్ పర్మిషన్స్ అని కొట్టినా కూడా ఇదే పేజ్ ఓపెన్ అవుతుంది. ఆర్ వైల్ క్రియేటింగ్ ఆల్సో ఇఫ్ యూ వాంట్ టు యాడ్ ఎనీ పర్మిషన్స్ యూ కెన్. సో లెట్స్ అస్యూమ్. ఓకే, ఇప్పుడు మనం ఒక ఆర్గనైజేషనల్ క్రైటీరియా, వాట్ వి విల్ డు ఇస్, so for doing a project, okay, my developers need EC2 full permissions, S3 full permissions. So whatever they want to create buckets, whatever EC2 machines they want to take, they have to take because they are doing a project for me. So for developers, I want to give EC2 full access, S3 full access. And this is a example I am giving. And whatever is being uploaded to S3, operations team just needs to read it. Operations team ki నేను full permissions అసలు అంటే S3 buckets delete చేయడానికి, virtual machine create చేయడానికి I'm not giving any permissions. Whatever developers are developing, whatever S3 buckets are being uploaded, whatever files are there, operations team has to read it for doing their operations. Okay, let's just assume this. Okay, so let's start. What we'll do, we have created a user. Okay, so permissions can be attached in two ways. Right now, Prasad enti, what is Prasad? Operations, right? What I wanted to give S3 read only options, right? So I pressed on S3. Okay, there is something called S3 read only access. Okay, what is this access and all we'll discuss tomorrow. There is again a concept to it, IAM policy. Okay, we'll discuss. As of now, just observe Amazon S3 read only policy. That means it will give Amazon S3 service ki read only access system. Okay, so I'll click on next and I'll create the user. So right now, if I just download Prasad's username and then I'll go to user. See, ఇప్పుడు కావ్య ఓపెన్ చేస్తే నాకు ఎన్ని పర్మిషన్స్ ఉండవు ఎందుకంటే I have removed all of them. Okay, and we know what if particular user is there. See, I have created Prasad. Prasad is part of operations. Okay, so I can add permissions directly. Okay, this is called users. So you can create users, you can attach permissions to the users. Whatever permission admin has attached to the user, our user whenever he comes. Okay, then you can ask me. So right now I am removing this S3 read only permission also to Prasad. Nothing. She even can't see what all permissions she has because I didn't give any permission. IA permissions today. So what I'll do is, so now you can ask me question. Okay, ప్రతిసారి ఒక యూజర్ క్రియేట్ చేసి వాళ్ళ పర్మిషన్స్ ఇస్తా పోతుంది. Okay, so next time in my organizational criteria I am going to hire Vishwa, Arvind, okay, Vishal, or maybe this might not stay. I might hire 10 people, 10 developers, 5 more operations. Every time creating user is fine, but మళ్ళీ వెళ్ళి permissions ఇవ్వాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. What you can do is just observe this, you'll understand it clearly. So we have created users, right? So go to user groups. Okay, in IAM there is another thing called groups. What you can do is create a group. So I'll create developer group. I'll name it as dev. Okay, as of now ignore this. So developers ki మనం ఏమేమి ఇద్దాం అనుకున్నాం, EC2 full permissions, S3 full permissions ఇద్దాం అనుకుంటున్నాం. So I'll just say EC2 EC2 full access is there. Okay, see these all permissions, whatever are there, auto scale and all, this only you'll understand when you learn about EC2. Only different concepts. Okay, as of now, just think Amazon EC2 full access. If I give this, the user can do anything on EC2. He can create, he can delete, he can do multiple options. Okay, so EC2 full options. I have selected one, and S3 also full options. I want to give full access. So I have selected two policies. There are 881 policies already predefined in AWS, which are called AWS managed policies. Okay, so if I select that right now, if I go create a group, it is creating a group called dev. Okay, let me create another group. Ops. I want to mention ops, and I want to give S3, just S3 read only access. I just want to give. So there is another team called training. Okay, let's create that here. So let's modify our, again we'll go back. There is a training team. వాళ్ళకి ఏంటంటే they need S3 read only access. They want to read those files, and there is a table. Okay, there is a table, RDS table. Okay, database. Okay, RDS అనేది ఒక service which is called relational database services. Okay, so there is a table. They want to read that table also. They don't have to create it, but there is a table available in my account. Okay, I want to give them just read only access. So what I'll do is I'll create a group called training. Okay, and then I'll give RDS read only access. Okay, and then S3 read only access. Okay, just assume. Okay, this is what. So I have created three groups, right? Okay, now what I'll do is if I go to users Kavya and Prasad, aim permissions leave with us. Okay, what I'll do is I'll go to dev group, I'll add users, I'll say Kavya is part of developers team. Okay, and then I'll go back to users. I'll go to operations. I have one user which is Prasad. Okay, add users. Okay, I have added users, and then I'll come back to training. So in training team, Kavya and Prasad are also part, right? You have seen. Okay, if you see here, Kavya and Prasad is also part of training team, right? Okay, so what I'll do is I'll come to training. So training came permissions on my RDS read only, S3 read. So I'll come here. User groups. I'll come to training. I'll come to users. I'll add users, and I'll say this time I'll add Prasad and Kavya. Okay, just observe what happened. Direct ga manam permissions ela ayyalo telusukom. But here we have created groups. We have added permissions to the groups. Okay, and then we have added users to the groups. So if we go to the users, if I go to Kavya, ideally she shouldn't have any permissions. But if you see, she has four permissions. What are those? EC2 full access, RDS read only from where? Training team. S3 full access from dev team, S3 read only access from training. But what will Kavya have? Ideal ga, according to training team, she should have only S3 read only access. But she's also a developer. She has S3 full access. So what is the access she'll have? She'll have S3 full access. Okay, so whatever are the permissions that are added to the groups are now inherited by the users. Okay, next time మన work easy ఎలా అవుతుంది అంటే, so I'll go to users, I'll create a new user. Okay, for example, Vishwa. Okay, I'll say I want to provide access. I'll say I want to create an IAM user. I'll give a custom generated password. Okay, I don't want user to change. I'll click on next. This time, what I'll do is I want to add that. So that I know what is Vishwa. Vishwa is a developer, right? So what I'll do is directly I'll not go attach policies directly. I'll just say add him to the dev group. Okay, and click on next, create user. Okay, I'll download the CSV, and then when I go back to users, when I open Vishwa, he'll have policies that are attached to the dev. So if I just explain you, see, again, let me repeat it. IAM is a global service. This is where you actually create users, give them permissions. That is why it is called identity and access management. You are creating identities like users and giving them access or restricting access. All that access management is done using IAM, right? So it's a global service, and the best policy is root account that is created while creating AWS account should not be shared or used by anyone. Then what to do? You have to create an admin account, admin user, and give him administrator access. And from now onwards, you can stop using root account. Admin will run the show. He will create the accounts. He will give the access and all. Okay. And then who are users? AWS users within the organization. ఎంతమందికి అయితే AWS account కావాలో అంతమంది మన AWS users. Okay, and then groups, users grouped based on organizational criteria. Okay, you can create and give them permissions. Okay, and there is this. Okay, always remember, user don't have to belong to a group. Group ఉండాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. For example, see here HR Sai is there. Until and unless I hire a new HR, what I'll do, I'll create user Sai and I'll directly attach policies. యూజర్ ఖచ్చితంగా ఒక గ్రూప్ లో ఉండాల్సిన అవసరం లేదు. డైరెక్ట్ గా కూడా మనం పర్మిషన్స్ ఇవ్వచ్చు. అండ్ యూజర్ కెన్ బిలాంగ్ టు మల్టిపుల్ గ్రూప్స్. హియర్ కావ్య ఇస్ పార్ట్ ఆఫ్ డెవలపర్ అండ్ ఆల్సో ట్రైనింగ్. వాట్ హ్యాపెండ్? Whatever are the permissions that user will belong to, whatever are the groups that user belong to, all those permissions are inherited by the user. Okay, so right now when Kavya goes, she can open EC2, she'll have EC2 full access. She can create buckets. S3 full access will be there. And RDS, when it comes to RDS, she can only read. She can only read. Okay, so this is how IAM is. First, okay, AWS account lo em cheyalannadu. IAM is most important. Trust me, if you are becoming an AWS engineer or DevOps engineer, AWS DevOps engineer, you might use S3 one day, you might not use S3 one day. Okay, you are doing a completely different project which is not related to S3, which is not related to S3. But there is one service you are always related, which is IAM. Simple. Inkoka real time. Even if I am a senior DevOps engineer, senior developer, I will have an admin who is accessing all of it, who is giving permissions. So how it happens is, first the project will get allocated. So project allocated. ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ కి ముందే ఆర్కిటెక్చర్ డయాగ్రామ్ డిజైన్ అయిపోతుంది. ఆ ప్రాజెక్ట్ లో ఏమేమి కావాలి? He needs access to AWS S3. He needs access to EC2. He needs access to AWS Lambda. Okay, for example, these all services are required. So what does admin do? He create a group for developers separately. Okay, అందరికి separate ఎవరెవరికైతే ఏమైతే పర్మిషన్స్ ఉందో, whenever I have a user name, he'll add me to that particular. Then only I can access anything in that AWS account. Until and unless admin has given me the account or access, I can't do anything. Even my username is created, but I won't have access to anything. Only admin will give me. So whatever is required, and then also even admin will always follow least privilege principle. See, he doesn't think like this. Okay, S3 lo kuda multiple buckets ఉన్నాయి. Okay, in one account, just 2 more things. Okay, you have to talk. Fine. So it won't be like S3 lo kuda multiple buckets. Okay, tomorrow I'll show. You can give full access, but only to one particular bucket. ఏదైతే ఈ ప్రాజెక్ట్ కి బకెట్ క్రియేట్ అయ్యిందో, see, it shouldn't be like this, right? So in one AWS account, you might be doing multiple projects. Okay. So in one project, you have all the confidential files of related to that particular project. And you have another project, all confidential projects of another project. You belong to first project, he belongs to second project. It shouldn't be like I gave you S3 full access, he can come and delete your project files, and he can come and delete your project files. It shouldn't happen like that. So you can also customize in such a way that S3 full access, but only to one part. EC2 full access, but only to one virtual machine. That also can be done. That also can be done. Okay, tomorrow you will see it. What is IAM policy, how to customize it. But just observe. ఏదైతే అవసరం. So as an admin, I should be able to decide. So today, now, so tomorrow we'll do it as user. But today we are an admin. How should admin think? See, he's a senior developer. He's working on one project. He's a senior developer. He's working on one. Senior developers know how to work. So let's give S3 full access. So what if he comes and deletes that file? So as an admin, always remember least privilege principle. Whenever I am giving him permissions, which project does he belong to? That particular project. ఆ particular project ki ఏ bucket కి అయితే యాక్సెస్ ఇవ్వాలో దానికి మాత్రమే ఇస్తాను. He's a senior developer, just go use any bucket you want. No, I should always keep in mind what is required. ఎంత అయితే అవసరమో అంత మాత్రమే ఇస్తాను, అంత మించి. And for example, again, admin has also another duty. What is it? There is a project going on. Okay, దానికి కావాల్సిన యాక్సెస్ మొత్తం ఈ డెవలపర్ కి ఇచ్చేసారు. The project is done. అయిపోయింది, ప్రాజెక్ట్ అయిపోయింది. Okay, now he is no more into that project. He is moving to another project. My duty is to give permissions to the new project. My duty is also to delete the previous project permissions. Because once he is not in the project, I'll not give any access to those resources. Only I'll give. So here my duty is to give him new resources, permissions, and delete old permissions also. Okay, so tomorrow you will see how to customize. Till now what we have seen is already AWS lo konni permissions unnai. 881 permissions are already created. So those permissions you directly give. What if you want to customize the permission? S3 full access, but only to one bucket. EC2 full access, but only to one particular machine. RDS full access, but only to one database. How to do it is called IAM policy. Okay, you have to write IAM policy. Okay, that we will discuss. Okay, now you understood the concept, right? Root account nunchi oka admin account create chesam. We created a root admin account, and from now admin is creating users and is creating groups. Whatever permissions are, either he'll add policies directly or he'll add policies to the groups and he'll add users to the, so that user will get all those permissions. This is how AWS permissions are managed using IAM. There are some more advanced concepts to IAM, like creating IAM policies, how to set up account passwords, how to set up MFA, multi-factor authentication, and all are there. We'll discuss in the next class. Okay, clear, right? So guys, okay, this whoever hasn't registered, right? Okay, please register. Okay, tomorrow we'll have a class. Try to register by tomorrow. Okay, after IAM, whatever the main services we are going to discuss, that are only for registered people. Okay, so please try. And guys, one more thing, the batch that we are looking for, you will be joining, okay, is not 12 o'clock batch. You will be joining for 9 to 10 batch. Okay, there are already 20, some people there. Okay, we have told them. Okay, they are still on hold. Okay, we will complete whatever we have completed for them and we'll merge. Okay, you'll all be part of 9 to 10 batch. Okay, clear?
Clear.
Okay, yeah. Anybody from online has some doubt?
No, sir.
Clear, right? Okay, I'll meet you all tomorrow. Okay, thank you so much.